everybody. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Michelle's Inspiration Hour, where I hope that we can inspire you for the rest of the week, for the month, for the year. I don't know, as far as we can go. So if you are watching, say hello. If you are watching it after it's been recorded, say hello. I would love to see you and any of the comments that you may have. And so you're going to be really excited about our guest. She's come a long way. Actually, technology is great. She's actually sitting in Australia. And I think it's so fascinating that we can actually, I don't know, I'm just one of those nerds. I just get excited over the smallest things. Talking to someone in another country, in another time, she's actually August the 2nd for her. It's actually a different season, so forth. And I've actually have some cousins over in Australia, so I am really excited to visit with our guest. And she is one that empowers women. And I mean, how can you not be inspired by that? So let me go ahead and read everything about her, and then we'll learn more. All right. So Stel Coombe-Heath is a certified health and life coach specializing in body image, in spirituality, emotional eating, and women's empowerment. She's the woman behind the brand Wholesome Lifestyle Project, with a vision of a future where women can no longer be ashamed of their bodies, where young girls don't feel guilty about what they eat and draw their self-worth from within, not from what they look like on the outside. When she is not facilitating transformations around relationships with food and the body, she hosts the Beyond Overeating by Wholesome Lifestyle Project podcast and is a published author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, Reclaim Your Inner Goddess. Stel struggled with a love-hate relationship with food and her body for over 13 years. I'm sorry, I just lost my place. Okay, so for battling two eating disorders, and she is now passionate about a future where women and young girls are no longer ashamed of their bodies. See, I was just really getting into the moment and just lost my place. As a holistic health recovery specialist and body image coach, Stel infuses yoga, mindfulness, and emotional resilience into her consultations with her clients. All right, let's bring her on. Let me see if I can do that with our wonderful technology. How are you, Stel?
Well, thanks to you, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And just like what I told everybody, I think, technology is fantastic where we can get on and talk with anybody within the world. And I know this ages me, but I still remember in the 70s, 80s, we wouldn't have ever thought this was possible. And now
Yeah,
look at us. So
absolutely.
yeah, so I am so excited to have you. And you know what? I am really inspired by your story because you have been through a lot of tribulations. And instead of hiding behind closed doors, you came out and, you said yes, to the divine, to the universe, saying, I want to help. Can you kind
Yeah.
of tell us a little bit about that? What made you come out and say, all right, I'm here?
You know, it's funny you say that because if you met me 5 years ago, I would not have spoken to you on a camera.
Right, right.
I would not have appeared on a podcast. I really considered myself as really shy. And interesting, I would never have really opened up about what I was going through either. So it's just interesting how when you're passionate about something,
Mm.
you actually find that inner guidance and support to feel safe to say what you need to support others.
Absolutely.
um, let's see, what inspired me? Okay, so I would say in 2015, I was deep in my eating issues, my love-hate relationship with food, as I like to call it. And I developed a blood clot on my brain. um, not through my eating issues, but through actually through oral contraception. However, I was sitting in the hospital. The doctor's just given me this news about Mrs. Coombe-Heath. You've got a blood clot. This is the protocol we have to follow. You cannot do all the exercise you're doing anymore. You're gonna have to take it easy. You're gonna have to rest and all those things. And my first thought, was, how am I gonna make up for the food I'm about to eat here in the hospital that I have no control over? I don't know what they've put in there. It's not the food that I would normally eat. And I was obsessing over that instead of going, okay, there's something life-threatening going on here. And that's when I realized, okay, my eating patterns are no longer just a healthy lifestyle plan. It was something that was absolutely a little bit more obsessive, I would say.
I
And
see. Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of where the light bulb moment went on about me having my own issues. And fast forward about, I think, 5 months, 6 months later, I was sitting in a seminar. Now, I come from an IT background. I was a business
Okay.
analyst in my previous life.
Wow.
And I was sitting in a conference with a man called Robin Banks, based in South Africa, and he was talking about, the power of the mind and how we can kind of use our thoughts and our minds to create a reality. Like I really started connecting more with, I would suppose that the law of attraction, but also just like
Yeah.
how we kind of connect with our thoughts and clearing that up. And one of the things we talked about in that seminar was the fact that if you are not doing something that you're passionate about,
Yeah.
you will never find that internal happiness within your role. So that's where he got us to do some vision work. And in that vision, I had this vision standing on a stage with just like, I remember like lights blinding me, and there's just thousands of people in front of me, and I'm talking to them about health.
Yes. Yes. And you're probably going, no, I would not get in front of people at all.
And not on a stage with so many people.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that vision comes from. And I still, to this day, I see that vision um in my head, and I'm seeing it come to life. I'm talking to thousands of people on the internet. I might not see all their faces, but they're
Right.
there. Now that COVID's open, I'm speaking on stages, and yeah, I just
I know, and it amazing, and it is different kind of energy, especially when you go on social media live instead of in an audience because you can't see them.
yes.
And it is totally different energy where, and this as a light worker, you can feel that energy in the audience, as well. But it's yeah, and I agree with you. I was the exact same way. I didn't want to talk in front of people, be around people in front of them. I did not want to be the center of attention.
Yeah,
And
same.
I actually practiced. I went to Toastmasters, how to practice how to speak in front of people, and met so many people who were in like the business industry, and they were real successful. And I'm thinking, you know what? Everybody gets nervous in front of people. And
Yes.
you're right. If you have the desire to talk about something and you are passionate about it, you are going to get out and talk. And I really
Mm,
think that yours is important because I know a lot, because you've experienced it, and know a lot of young girls who get that negativity in their mind, and then they start looking at their body and they start not eating right, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. What advice would you give to these young ladies? Or how about this? What would you have told yourself as well, being younger?
Oh, wow. This is such a good question. You know, I think first off, like our body is just the way we experience the world. And our body is unique to what we have. It's a beautiful gift. And therefore, it's okay to look different to others. That's number one. Number two is it doesn't matter what you look like at the end of the day, it's what you do with this life and what you do with your body. And that is powerful. And, you know, no one's going to write on your memorial one day or in your memorial letter, you know, Stel was such an amazing person. She weighed X pounds or kilos, you know, like that's not what it comes down to. It's the contribution we make in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And physical appearance, even though we've been conditioned in this world that physical appearance, you know, is our wealth almost.
Mm-hmm.
It it has nothing to do with how we feel from the inside. You know,
Absolutely.
we have the most, I've met some amazing, beautiful, stunning human beings who felt so sad and empty on the inside, and that still knocked their confidence. That still did not bring them the partner that they wanted. You know, that still did not bring them the happiness they wanted in the world. So I think we need to start letting go of that attachment that your physical appearance and especially your clothing size
Mm-hmm.
is actually gonna, you know, give you confidence.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, tell us about your business. Now, you've got your coaching, you've got your license or certificate in it, and so tell us about that and how you help your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my clients that come to me feel like they are at a loss. They feel almost a sense of out of control with food. I don't really like to put labels on there, but maybe they feel like they binge eat, or maybe they feel there's emotional eating, or maybe they just feel, well, I don't know what's happening. I just eat, and sometimes I eat to feel better, or whatever the case is. But like, I just don't feel like I have a sense of normalcy around food itself. Um, and you know, I kind of really help my clients with that feeling and that sense of out of control. There's certain reasons why our brains create patterns in that regard, and we talk a lot about that. I've actually dubbed that part of that sense of out of control, part of our food zombie brain. Which is just kind of, that's a lot of my clients feel like they are not having an outer body experience when they're around food and they're eating. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of who kind of approaches me. However, you know, I help my clients in many ways. I was so passionate about different things. So I'm a yoga teacher and I'm an energy healer. And yes, I have my coaching qualification. And, you know, I wanted to understand deeper, why do we get ourselves into these, you know, it feels like an addictive pattern with food, but it's not really, you know.
Right.
Why do we get ourselves into that? So, you know, I added cognitive behavioral therapy and EFT. All those modalities help my clients in some way or form. So what we do is we actually go and we help them feel safe with food. First of all, we throw away everything that we've learned in the past, all the fears, the insecurities, the rules around food, and start working from a more an intuitive space. You know,
Mm-hmm.
let your body start communicating with you, and in that we need to obviously ground ourselves. We need to turn inwards, a lot of self-observation. So I do a lot of meditations, obviously, with my clients to just help them get more into their bodies, you know. That's super helpful. Yeah, and then we start working also. Obviously, there's a lot of emotional stuff that kind of connects us here, or emotional and energetic stuff. We start working on that as well. You know, interesting enough, my one client was saying, well, you know, like I feel like I'm just, you know, I'm going to use the word fat here, but she said, I just feel like the fat has a meaning for me. And we kind of went into, well, energetically and emotionally, what does that, you know, fat like mean to you? And she kind of said, it's guarding me against a lot of anger I have to the world and the way that I cannot speak up. You know, and she's almost saying like I couldn't speak up for myself when I was a young girl, and this is almost my layer of protection, if that makes sense. And you know, like, so that's just one little example of, like, you know, really going into the emotional ties to food itself, and the energetic work that we need to do around food as well. So yeah, hopefully that kind of
Yeah,
gives
oh,
you an
absolutely.
idea.
And I love that you said that you use meditation and a lot of the holistic areas, not only cognitive therapy, but also the holistic, exercises that we love to do with
Yes.
yoga. And I know that you have a book out, which is Reclaim Your Inner Goddess. And
Yes.
you talk about the chakra, of course. I don't want to explain it. I want you to do that. But can you kind of go into that? Because I think it's really interesting how we don't think about that whenever we have, stress and eating disorder. We don't really think about the chakras. And I didn't really
Mm.
learn about them until recently. And I'm going, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, do you want to kind of dive into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we have um, disordered, and I'm going to use the word disordered eating patterns here, and that's even includes certain forms of dieting. You know, when we're really restrictive, or when we cut like like certain food groups out, that can be seen as a disordered pattern of eating. When we have that, we can actually create imbalances in our chakra system as well. So, you know, if you think about it, a lot of times when we are not, if we don't like what we see in the mirror, we create a disconnection in the body, and that affects the crown chakra. If we fear foods, that actually connects into the root chakra, where we actually, you know, feel the safety and belonging. So in the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess book, I taught my contribution was around the root chakra and the sense of feeling safe and connected with your body starts in the root. So we have to draw our energy downwards. So most of us, especially if you are actually, most of us nowadays, we live above the shoulders. We live
Mhm.
here in the mind and the head, and we think that the head is what keeps us, you know, we are only mind, almost, in a sense, you know.
Right.
And then every now and then when we feel pain, or if we bump into something because, you know, we scattered, or whatever the case is, then we're like, oh yeah, we're a body. Meanwhile, that creates a massive disharmony in even the nervous system, because we're using all our energy in the mind space, and we need to regulate energy throughout the body. So the work I did in the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess is really about starting to reform that connection with your body, drawing energy and awareness down, rooting yourself back into the body, through a little system that I call the Sacred Body Awakening. And we, like, you know, there's a 4-step process in there where we start with awareness. You know, how do you treat your body? Do you actually realize that you are in your body? Those kind of things. Then we step into a sense of forgiveness. So we kind of work a little bit into the heart chakra as well, you know, letting go of some of that judgments, the stories, the beliefs that we've created around ourselves and our bodies itself. We then go into stepping out of that and, agreeing to be in a space, in a better relationship with our bodies. We don't have to love our bodies, all the time, but it is really about starting to accept who we are and accept our bodies. And as we sit right here in this moment, the yoga teachings are really about the only power we have or control we really have is what we have in this moment itself. And in this moment, if we can start accepting who we are instead of planning and judging and, analyzing ourselves, that is when we can actually start accessing peace and, that inner happiness that people want to go after. And, you think about how people talk about their bodies. It's, when I lose so many pounds or kilos, then I'll go do exercise. Or when my body looks like this, then maybe I'll start dating. When blank,
When.
then I'll be happy.
Yes.
But it starts right here in this moment. And if we can't find that, even just the acceptance that right here in this moment, this body is helping me breathe. This body is helping me see you, Michelle, and having a beautiful conversation with you. And that's amazing. If we can't start seeing the beauty just in those little things, we'll always be chasing something different.
And not being happy, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Absolutely. And I love how in the book that you ask questions, and you have these different exercises that the readers can go through. And a lot of that, are triggers, past things that we keep holding on to, because I know that's a number one thing, that we all have problems with. We always hold on to something instead of, like you said, finding that forgiveness. And I
Yes.
think that is so important. And I like how in the book also you say, okay, you might need to take a break from this exercise because you're going to get emotional about it. and which is good, because you don't want to, deal with too many things at once.
Yes.
And so I love that. And can you kind of explain, because this is like this, I keep hearing this about the Hawaiian spiritual prayer, of forgiveness.
Yes.
It's kind of like a mantra.
Yes.
So
The
can you kind of
Ho'oponopono
explain what that
prayer.
is? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, um, to be honest, like my knowledge around that and the history is quite limited, but I actually experienced this in a yoga class myself. One day, one of the yoga teachers, we were in a meditation, and she brought in the Ho'oponopono prayer, and I just absolutely loved that mantra. And it actually, I was really emotional just going through that. And what it is basically just a little mantra to forgive yourself, but also forgive everyone around you that might have done harm. So it's like this beautiful little mantra of peace. And it says, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
And I think that is so important, just like what you said is forgiveness. You
Hmm.
forgive yourself and you forgive others. And that's a lot of times I say, it's difficult to forgive, but once you do, you find that freedom,
Yeah.
inside. And it's like awesome. Well, is there anything that we did not talk about before we do the question wheel?
I don't think so. What I
Okay.
wanted to touch on was the fact that I love Louise Hay. I don't know if you're familiar with her work.
Yes, the mirror work.
Yes,
Yes.
she talks a
Yes.
lot about forgiveness and how the power of forgiveness can actually release disease or pain or aches or everything in the body. And she says, um, you know, doesn't matter where you are, but if you can bring a sense of forgiveness, you don't ever have to tell the person that you're forgiving them. But when you do those little practices of forgiveness, you can actually start healing yourself from the inside.
And that's
Um,
where that spiritual energy starts opening up too. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it really
absolutely.
does. It's awesome. And as a light worker, we're always, kind of looking into into healing and everything. And it takes sometimes you think you're going 5 steps forward, then you go backwards and then forward. It's a lifetime thing that we all have to go through.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't
Okay.
think it's ever a step back though, because
Oh,
you you're not stepping back with
yeah,
starting from scratch. You've got
that
all
is
this
true.
knowledge and everything else that you have built on. You just need, it's just a new way, a new perspective. And if you can actually, that's another forgiveness thing. You're never starting from scratch. You are stronger or you have more knowledge. Um, so if you see it that way, okay, I had a setback, but it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that it was a step back. This is a new scenario, and I get an opportunity to use what I've learned and start again.
I love that. Thank you so much for explaining that. That I like that so much better. So wise, so wise. All right, you ready for your question? All right,
Yes.
so let's see. Oh, I got to click it on the other. Hold on. Okay, let's click it. See what
Oh,
question's
this
going to
is so
be.
exciting. I love this wheel.
Okay. Oh, lucid dreaming. So, do you ever lucid dream?
um, Not very often, but
Okay.
there has been
Right.
times where I've had some lucid dreams, and actually some of it came true, which
Wow.
which was not the greatest, because the dreams I had was that I was in hospital and everyone was around me. Um, and a few months later, I was in a car accident and I was in hospital and everyone was around me. So very interesting.
No, it's like there's some good lucid dreamings and then not so good. Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have them if they come true.
Who
But,
knows?
you know, I've heard that people that do it on a regular basis, you start learning how to control them and everything, and it
Yeah.
sounds really awesome to be able to do that. Okay, so we're gonna do readings. I don't know who is out there. So if you want a reading, come on in, say hello. And what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to play kind of like a song first, okay? Kind of like a video to kind of get the energy going. And then what we'll do, I'm going to read Stel. And Stel, if there's no one on, you could read me. I think I haven't had a
Amazing.
reading
That
in
would be
a while.
awesome. I love that.
So if listeners are out there, she is. Are you a psychic medium or are you a psychic?
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
I just I do these readings on the internet where again we were talking about not seeing the people,
Right.
but I can actually feel. So I do card readings or on a platform similar to Facebook, um, and I can definitely feel things that people like. So it's very
Probably a
much
psychic.
more intuitive. Like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
So you're probably a little bit of both. If you worked on the mediumship, bringing people spirits in and talking to them, I bet you could, increase that as well. But yeah, so that a lot of psychic readings. Okay. Let me bring on the music real quick and then we'll see who is here. Okay. So hold
okay.
on. Let me get okay, here we go. See, it's like, woo, get the energy. It's almost like the second part of the show. All
It's
right.
so
So
cool.
Terry Williams, oh my gosh, I said Terry Williams. I can read. I promise, Terry. I know who you are. All right. So Terry Phillips said, I would love a reading. So Terry, hold on. Okay. I'm going to read Stella first. Stella, I'm sorry. I called you Stella, didn't I? Oh my
That's
goodness.
all
I
right.
don't know what
No,
is wrong with me. Right when I'm beginning to connect in, a lot of times my mouth doesn't say the words I want it to say.
yeah.
if that makes any sense a lot of times. Okay. What I'm really being pulled towards, okay, are Letterman cards. I've been using them a lot lately. And usually with people, especially online, I only like do one or two cards. But because you're the guest, okay, I am going to um, pull it's like 5 cards, okay?
Wow.
So it's a little bit more in depth, but if I start saying something and it's private, just go, don't talk about
Okay.
that. People on the side, when they say I want a reading, they don't ever tell me, don't tell too much. I just say, okay. Okay. And with these cards, I actually look for um the person in the card deck first. And then the cards around it kind of modify that, if that makes any sense. It kind of does more reading. Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah, oh, that it kind of goes along with what we're talking about right now. Um, all right, so I love this. Okay, so in the past, because what we've been really working on, and then it will kind of talk about the future as well. But and it's so funny. The mouse is something that eats away. I'm sorry if you can see it. I know it's hard on these little screens. It's kind of eating away at something, and this is the modifier, which is more of a positive card. Okay, it's like you gave yourself a gift of really, and it is a gift. It's very difficult whenever you have something that's almost eating away at you and almost a difficult time in your life, and you embrace it. That's exactly what you did. You embraced yourself, right? You gave
Yeah.
yourself a gift. And I think that, I mean, spirit, yeah, and I'm being validated right now. So it's like spirit is saying thank you so much for validating that. Okay, now, since then, and I love this, is that, especially in the past, it has been, oh my gosh, I don't know why it's doing that with the blue. But anyway, your stability was cut short. But because you have given you that gift, you don't have this anymore. Okay.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
you are definitely more stable. So, yeah. So the negative card with a positive card. But once again, I keep feeling that I love how you said that you move forward. There's certain days where you still have that stress. Again, everybody does because we're all working on something as humans. And
Mhm.
sometimes you think, am I going to revert back to that? And then you talk yourself out of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then you move forward. Okay. Um, Let me give one more card because I'm being pulled for this. Okay. And this is awesome too. This is kind of like advice and kind of giving you advice for the week is to be grateful. So
Oh,
anytime you need to be
beautiful.
inspired this week and you do have those low moments, be
Mhm.
grateful.
Oh, I
Okay.
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and that will keep your energy up, okay? And these are actually healing cards, and you can see that it's all the different colors of the chakras.
Oh,
And
so
so
gorgeous.
that's why I kind of wanted to extend the reading just a little bit. Okay, you can do my if you don't mind doing my reading after Terry.
Yeah,
Terry, I
absolutely.
have done before, so I'm going to let you read her. Um, Lovely, lovely person. So I'd
All
love to see what
right.
you get for her.
Okay, Terry, was there anything in particular you would like a reading on, or just a general reading?
And we'll wait a few minutes because there's always a delay. So Terry,
Just shuffle the
do you
deck.
want her a specific question or area?
Yeah, anything.
Okay. Okay. We'll let her type it in. Because there's always like I want to say a 5-second
Slight
delay.
delay. Yep.
Because I know when you want to go like this and it's like, oh, and then she has to type it. Or okay, put it this way, she has to think about it and then type it.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
General.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
Okay.
general. So she has a few questions, but and I know she probably has one of those where she doesn't know what just needs a general. Yeah.
All right. All right. So Terry, beautiful heart energy this morning. It's kind of like an exciting tingling feeling in the heart space. I don't know if it's nervousness or just maybe something that you're really excited about. I would say lean into that and lean into things that bring you joy. And I want to say something creative as well. It's almost like you fired up about something, or something is going to come that's going to fire you up. And the first card that fell out when I was waiting for you is actually the intimacy card. So um,
That's awesome.
there might be that heart tingling because of intimacy, or a beautiful experience coming your way from an intimate perspective. Sometimes intimacy can also mean intimacy with yourself. So there might be a relationship that's, or connection that you're creating with yourself that you're excited about, or a journey that you're going on that will create more of an intimate knowledge of who you are, if that makes sense.
That's absolutely beautiful. All right. I'm gonna go. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm kind of getting the spirit here. I'm gonna go ahead and do Terry.
Yeah,
I know,
cool.
Terry,
Go
I've
for
read
it.
for you before, but sometimes things change. You just never know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Lenormand cards on you. Aha. Oh my gosh, that is so interesting, and I'll show you why. I've got to have more space on my desk. Okay. So, Terry, what you're really looking at, and I love this. Okay, this is a movement card. Okay, it also brings like a message, and whenever you receive a message, and I don't know if you're the one that was going on a trip or whatever, but anyway, so you're going to get a message, and when you get this message, gamble on it. You're going to have good luck. It's going to be a great message. You're going to be going, I don't know which direction to go with that intuition of yours, because you will have good luck with that. Okay. And again, we have movement on the other side, which I love that. And love. Isn't that funny? And then you have so I love how that works out. And I just think that what this really is too is, I think that your significant other, I think y'all are going to be taking a fabulous trip. That's why I said I don't know if it's you but it's movement. It's a journey. Okay. And so I hope that helps. I hope that resonates with you. But that's very interesting that we both came up with the intimacy card,
Yeah,
with the love card.
the
So that
love
is really,
card.
and let me tell you too, anytime I read Terry's energy as well, I get the same thing. It's almost like she's giggling when she's not. That's what kind of her
Mm.
energy kind of portrays. It's a very happy energy. And it's almost like she's smiling all the time. And I know, Terry, we are talking about you on the air, and there's not anything you are not saying it. You're probably going, oh my gosh, just stop. But anyway, Terry, have a fabulous week, an inspiration week, and I hope that helps you, my dear. Many blessings. Okay, my turn, my turn.
All right.
And then if anybody else pops on, we'll do that.
Amazing. Yay. Well, this is
Oh, let me see what she said. Thank you,
oh.
ladies. I don't have any significant other, but I'm guessing one may be coming in. Absolutely right.
Ooh.
Especially if both of us had that card. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and take that chance. You know what I'm saying? So you may get a message from somebody, or maybe that inner thinking, oh, maybe he is the one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful, Terry. That's awesome. Well, yeah, keep that beautiful heart energy going.
Right.
Amazing. All right, Michelle, is there anything that you in particular wanted some guidance on this morning?
Yes. Okay. So let's do career. Kind of in
Okay.
that career. Do you need to be more specific, or is that okay?
No,
Okay.
that's more than fine. All right. Guidance for Michelle on her career. Is it this one? All right. Feeling a sense of left energy, which is obviously more the feminine energy. I don't know if you're doing any work with, like, leaning more into the feminine, which is, going with the flow, getting more creative, igniting your passions. And I feel like it's wanting to come out, but there's also the jaw that's saying, hold on, but I don't, yeah, but it's almost saying I need to have certain things in place before I can let loose this beautiful feminine energy, if that makes sense.
You
Yeah, I don't
know,
know if that relates.
it does. It relates so much. You want me to explain it? I always like
Yeah, yeah,
validation,
absolutely.
as a somebody who reads. So I've been in education for, gosh, almost over 30 years. Okay. And it's like spirit knocked on my door, said, okay, you need to stay in the spiritual business. You need to come out as a psychic medium. And, I'm so used to being stable, you know what I'm saying, with a
Mm,
stable job, especially in
mm,
education. And they kept calling me back saying, we need the help. Can you come back?
yeah,
And I'm going, maybe spirit wants me to come back for a little bit. When in reality, no, because I wasn't happy going back. And so and school's about to start. So I'm kind of getting the energy of going, yeah, that used to be my life. I've got to let it go, cut that cord, and forget saying but and having things line up and really trust in the process of what spirit has for me. And it's tough, you
yeah.
know?
So tough. That's just leaping into the unknown is just absolutely crazy. And yeah, we
Yeah.
are going to have that trust issues, but I'm feeling that maybe you need to just have some fun with it and be creative. Let's see what your card says. Oh, you got the boundaries card, which
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
love. Obviously, boundaries is a lot about emotional boundaries and setting those
Mhm.
boundaries, but it's also about exploring different horizons and look at all that magic that's waiting for
I love
you.
that. I'm up on those steps looking out going, "Ooh, what else is out there?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
So,
yeah,
yeah.
there's like this beautiful kingdom out there. Just once you're ready to step out of it.
Oh, well, thank
Amazing.
you so much. I was very validated. That is so awesome. Okay. So let's just summarize up the show. And again, you just never know who's going to pop on, after a while or not. But Terry, thank you so much for participating in the show. And again, if you watch this, a lot of people will watch it after it's recording because everybody's getting busy again. And just pop on a comment, say hello to us and to Terry as well. And Terry, where can they find? Sorry, Terry. Estelle, where can they find you?
Yes, beautiful question. So I am available on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Wholesome Lifestyle Project. I also have a Facebook group called Food Freedom for Binge and Emotional Eaters. And then my podcast, Beyond Overeating by Wholesome Lifestyle Project. Come and have a listen to what I call the food zombie brain and how you can kind of manage that. And Instagram, also Wholesome Lifestyle Project.
So almost any social media there's out there. And I
Pretty
didn't hear
much.
TikTok. I didn't
TikTok,
hear
yes, I'm
TikTok.
on there.
Okay.
Wholesome. Uh, what is my handle on TikTok? I think it's Wholesome
There's too
Stel on
many.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. There are too many. They
Yeah,
can find you. I'm sure
yeah.
if they put in the search word, yeah, but they can find you. Hi, Kimberly. How are you doing? Okay. So thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
okay, Kimberly, before we go, she is okay. Still, do you mind doing one more?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know, Kimberly is one of those, she comes on almost every time. And,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
especially, and Terry does too. And so I feel like, the ones that are here, I feel are being called here. And I
Mhm.
think she needs a reading, Kimberly. Now, Kimberly, with Stell, she needs to know what area, if you have a question or what area you want her to go into. And I know I probably threw you off, but you're welcome, Kimberly. We will get you.
Anything that you need some guidance on, or you can just say general, that's also all right.
And I love it because, when you read the same clients, every time you almost get the same. I mean, their energy, so it's really good to get somebody else. Okay, her daughter.
Okay, beautiful. All right, some guidance on the daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Kimberly, I'm getting a sense of nostalgia on maybe laughter or joy, or just feeling like a sense of not freedom, but it might just be a more sense of lightness. So it might just be that we need to kind of let go of the things that keep us feeling stuck and tune into what will bring us laughter and guidance from that perspective. Funny, you got the freedom card. So interesting enough, the freedom card is just about, how can we let go of some of the thoughts and the judgments that keep us stuck when it comes to certain scenarios. Yes, there's certain things that we might feel stuck in, and it's about just reaching for the areas where you do actually feel more freedom, if that makes sense. And especially when it's scenarios of, things that are out of our control, we can actually feel that sense of stuck. So for you, it's almost like seeing where you can let loose and just have a different kind of point of view from that perspective. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, and and that's beautiful because as you were talking, it's so funny. I got, how we get pictures in our head from spirit, and I was actually seeing that Kimberly is her best support. It's almost like she was hugging her daughter. And Kimberly, I'm also going to pull a card for your daughter as well, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Lenormand cards. Oh wow, okay. And so it's so interesting because the first card that came up is another lady that's in the card, and which is you, Kimberly. Okay, really supporting her. This is movement. Okay, and we keep having that card. Isn't that funny? Similar cards that pop up, and it's always the
Yeah.
same theme.
Also, we
But
both have horses.
yeah, so yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And it's almost like not only freedom, but when you're going to get a message, and it's almost like she's going to really need your support, and you're going to be there for her. And that is the number one thing spiritually that's really going to help. And then I know that you've got this as well, the gift in your reading. And so my daughter had a loss. She needs, yeah. So see, she needs laughter and she needs freedom. And also the star, which is so awesome. This is really looking, you know, it's a very positive card, knowing things are going to change spiritually. And I love this because she's going to get the gift of being able to move on. And again, she may, have those feelings of grieving, but she's still going to be grateful for what she had. And she's going to be able to look up at the stars at night and move on. All right, Kimberly. Yeah. And she needs laughter and she needs you. And I think you're going to be the number one person for her. Okay. So, which is wonderful. So yeah. Oh, I'm getting validated. So you're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you so much for being on. All right. Well, have an
Sending love and light
inspirational.
to your daughter as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close. And again, love yourself, love who you are, and respect, I guess respect is also a good word to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're thinking of your body and you're eating and embracing yourself as a person, what's one thing that you want to tell the audience before you?
Okay.
Inspiration. I know it's like I'm putting you on the spot
Inspiration.
again.
That's all good. I'm excited about that. I think if you do feel like you are at a loss with food and there is that sense of out of controlness with food, just know that that is not a something that there's nothing wrong with you. First of all, that's probably just a beautiful symptom for you to kind of connect more with yourself. And a question that you can ask here is, what do I need? What does my body need in this moment? And that can be a really great support for you.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, everybody, many blessings. Have a wonderful